Hello and welcome to this weather update. It's about 9:30 on July 10th, 2018. We have a lot of things to talk about because we had a huge variation in some temperatures today and a huge variation in some temperatures tonight, and we now have a hurricane in the Atlantic. So we're looking at the current temperatures outside in Long Island. In Garden City, it's 77 degrees, and what we can do is I can get that map back up here. This is how we can do it and get a look at the temperatures. So we're generally in the mid 70s across the central part of Nassau. We head down to the South Shore. Of course, it's a little cooler there, maybe in the low 70s, 73. Not a huge variation in temperature across the island tonight. Now that the sun has gone down, mostly everybody is anywhere between 70 and 75 or 76 degrees. But when we head into the city, things are a lot hotter. So the urban heat island is really in a strong effect tonight, and you can see that as we go into Manhattan. You can see some readings close to 90, and the same goes for parts of New Jersey as well. That we have that urban heat island effect. When we come out a little further, you can really see the urban heat island here, and it's still in the 80s in the city right now. So it's still in the 80s in New York City. So good. Almost 10 degrees warmer due to that, and that's so no, I wouldn't want to live in New York City because of that. I don't know how I deal with that heat island at night. That's horrible. I don't know how anyone could deal with that. At least even Tom's River cools off at night. It's in the 70s. They're even there now. All right. So that is a look at the temperatures going on across our area on the Wunderground map. Now we go to the Weather Service and look at some observations. And Farmingdale is 76 degrees. And Islip is 75 degrees. The dew points are in the mid and upper 60s, so it is kind of humid out there, but not oppressively humid. We don't have dew points in the 70s, thank God. The Gabreski Airport in West Hampton in the Pine Barrens is 72 degrees. But if we go and we look at LaGuardia, we go into the heat island, and you can see it's still 84 degrees at LaGuardia. And LaGuardia was one of the hottest spots today, by the way, and we will get to that. If we look at Central Park, it's still 88 degrees. 88 degrees there right now at night. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's the urban heat island for you. But it gets even worse because if we go to Newark, it's still 90 degrees in Newark. The sun has gone down, and it's still 90 degrees. But the dew point is lower. It's 61. But still, that's a horrible urban heat island to deal with. I don't know how anyone would want to deal with that. We'll look at some of the temperatures in New Jersey, and you'll see Tom's River has also dropped now to 78 degrees. Still warmer in Tom's River than it is on Long Island right now, but as the night goes on, they'll probably be about the same because it does cool off at night there at least because, again, it's a lot of open space and pine barrens, which do radiate well if it's not terribly humid. So we're going to actually look at the highs now in our area today. And this is a map of the high temperatures today. So we're looking at the high temperatures. I put a little map together up for everybody, so you can see where the heat was today. Now Long Island was mainly in the upper 80s, and except mid 80s on the east end, probably mid 80s right along the immediate South Shore. So Farmingdale hit 89, Islip hit 88, Brookhaven Airport in Shirley hit 87. West Hampton hit 85, Montauk hit 84. But as we work our way into the city, you can see Kennedy hit 89. But going to LaGuardia, this is one of the hottest spots today. 97 degrees at LaGuardia Airport. So this whole area around LaGuardia Airport, Great Neck, Flushing, is really, really hot. And it is one of the hottest areas in the New York metro, in the immediate New York City area. Not as hot as Tom's River, but today you'll see Tom's River actually down here hit 96. So Central Park hit 93, Newark hit 96, White Plains hit 91, Bridgeport hit 92, Sussex County Airport hit 93, Somerville Airport hit 93, Belmar Farmingdale Airport, Monmouth County hit 93. Once again, Miller Air Park and Ocean County, west of Tom's River, hit 96, and so did Atlantic City Airport. And Philadelphia was 95 degrees. So you can see some huge variations in temperatures today depending on where you were. You definitely want to be on Long Island, and you even more so want to be on the South Shore. And the place you don't want to be is Toms River, but at least it cools off at night. The place you really don't want to be is New York City because it don't cool off at night. Now, let's get to that hurricane. Okay, so we have a new hurricane. Sure enough, Chris, formerly Tropical Storm Chris, has now strengthened to hurricane strength. So let's take a look at the latest advisory on it and the forecast map. Fortunately, this thing stays offshore. Thank God, because its maximum sustained winds are now up to 85 miles an hour. So it is a hurricane, and it probably will strengthen. The movement is northeast at 10 miles an hour. So we're actually going to look at the actual public advisory and read it. So we're going to read this, and this is the advisory on Hurricane Chris. So at 5 p.m., the center of Hurricane Chris was located near latitude 33.7 north, longitude 72.4 west. Chris is moving toward the northeast near 10 miles an hour. A continued northeastward motion is accompanied by a steady increase in forward speed is expected through Thursday night. Reports from an Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate the maximum sustained winds have increased to near 85 miles an hour with higher gusts. Some additional strengthening is forecast tonight and Wednesday. Chris is forecast to begin weakening by Thursday and becoming post-tropical cyclone by Thursday night or early Friday. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 15 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend upward out to 90 miles. The minimum central pressure recently measured by the reconnaissance aircraft was 980 millibars or 28.94 inches. So it's kind of a small storm, but in size, but it's strengthening. So this is going to have effects on the surf, and it says here, swells generated by Hurricane Chris are expected to increase and affect portions of the coasts of North Carolina and the mid-Atlantic states during the next few days. Those swells could cause life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. So I would imagine Long Island will see effects from this as well. So we are now going to look at some satellite images of Chris. You can see here this is a satellite loop visible in infrared, visible during the day, and you can see it really looks really powerful, and you can see it's got that classic shape, and it really is got that perfect shape, and you can see that it is definitely undergoing some strengthening, and that's because, again, of those warm waters in the Atlantic. It's getting strained. Very unusual to see a hurricane in the Atlantic form this early in this area. I want to switch to the other one. We're going to go right here and get a closer look. This is a color enhanced infrared image. The darkest reds are where the highest cloud tops are, so you could really see here that there's really some real strengthening going on here in this storm. So thank God it is staying offshore. It's not going to affect us. Because this would be, if this were to make a turn into the coast, this would be a devastating storm for sure. And this early in the season is very alarming, but not surprising when you're dealing with the warm water temperatures. Just look at the strength of those cloud types. You can see it pulsing up, just feeding on the energy off that boiling ocean. And we will now go to the MODIS Worldview satellite. And again, another look at Chris here. Just amazing. Look at that. Just look at that storm. I mean, it sure does look beautiful on the satellite. But very unusual to see a storm form this early in the Atlantic. This early in the season is very alarming. But again, that's due to all that warm water. It has plenty of energy to work with. And it will until it moves further north over into this area. And then it will encounter cooler water and then weaken. But right now the storm is very healthy, and it's not a large storm in size. It's a little maybe on the small side, maybe, but it's still a large storm, and it's a strong storm, and it will undergo strengthening, and it really just looks. We're gonna actually look at it a little more because this thing just looks incredible. That's for sure. You know, even if you're not really interested in meteorology, you have to admit that it sure does look beautiful on the satellite, but again, unusual for this time of the year in the Atlantic Ocean. So we will look at and see what is going on in other areas. We did have some clear skies, but a little bit of haze in the air. And I think maybe we might see a little bit of this. This is smoke up in Canada. I don't know if that's going to work its way over here or not. Yeah, there must be a fire up in, it looks like Saskatchewan or somewhere around here. Once again, it's the same thing with these wildfires burning because of the climate change going on. It's just something I don't ever remember having so many wildfires and having the smoke travel so far. It definitely is not something that we should be normally seeing. And there's that dust cloud actually from the Sahara. Actually, it's actually winding up getting sucked into Chris. Yep. There it is right there. It's actually going to get sucked up into Chris. So it's possible some of that dust cloud will wind up getting flung toward our area within the next few days. If, or it may not. I don't know. But generally, this eastern half of the country would be most likely to see the effects from that. Not so much the west. But wow, what a huge dust cloud that is. That is definitely something to see for sure as we look across the entire planet here. And there's also some smoke over here over Africa, so I don't know what's going on there. Maybe fires there. Let's go ahead and look. We also have fires going in Siberia again. This is something that happens every summer now. We have fires in the boreal forests burning due to climate change, due to warmer than normal temperatures and lower than normal rainfall in these areas. And the smoke is literally covering the planet. You know, it's trying to anyway. And we also have a typhoon over here too, by the way. So that will do it for this weather update. And again, one final look at Hawaii, and that volcano there is still emitting some gas. You can see. I wish that this would it's supposed to start cooling the planet down. We need to cool this planet down. This is not a joke. I'll say it over again. It's not a joke. If you think it is, well, I don't feel sorry for you when you say, "Oh my God, why did a Category 4 hurricane hit New York City?" Well, I'm just gonna say, I told you so. This is all on the table now due to climate change. People need to start paying attention to what Mother Nature is doing. Anyway, that's it. Take care.